It's just hair to everyone else except for Black women. We spend countless hours and dollars on our hairstyles, and some of us even risk our lives, a la the cancer-causing creamy crack, to appear presentable to society. In this episode, Cindy and I discuss our hair journey and current rituals, and how our hair has impacted our lives. Enjoy.
Good morning, Chanel.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is actually new for us. We are starting earlier in the day
Yeah.
because we have plans and we have lives. Even though the podcast is our life, it's our, what is it? Our 5 to 9 after our 9 to 5?
Yes, it is. It is actually our life.
Yeah. Woo. To get content for you audience, we work tirelessly.
Literally day and night.
Yes. But I'm excited about this topic because when we were setting up the podcast or whatever, this is one of the first topics that we discussed, because just generally with the concept of being black, being a black woman, the stuff that grows out of your head is very, very important. So my question for you this morning, Chanel, is how long did it take you to do your hair?
Oh, no.
And I'm not talking about like this morning, because I know it was a quick thing.
Yeah.
Because you prepped.
Yeah.
But how long did it take you to get the style? And how long did you keep the style in before you got what you have on your head right now?
Yeah. So, that's a little complicated. We got to start at the beginning.
Yes. Okay.
So, I wash my hair typically once a week.
Okay. And
unless
question,
it's in a protective style, then I'll kind of wait.
how long did you put off washing your hair?
I'm actually pretty good about it.
Oh,
I'm
are you
pretty
really?
good about it just because if I don't, then my hair gets tangly and then I
Mm.
have issues.
Yeah.
So I actually had to cut my hair, trim my hair because my ends,
You can tell. You just
they
feeling
were
it.
rough. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's because I was lazy and I left my hair out and I didn't do anything with it.
Yep.
So, yes, the dilemma. So, yeah, I have to wash my hair. Normally, washing my hair takes, in total, to go from regular hair to clean hair that's blow dried, because I blow dried every single time, all
Yeah.
that. 2 hours. We're spending 2 hours.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
I have my routine
Yeah.
down these days. I have it down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 2 hours, and then I took the time to part it. Okay, and then I did braids just a little bit to protect the parts, keep everything in
Right.
place. And then this is a prep for essentially box braids in the future.
Right.
I just haven't got there because I'm busy. So
Right.
this is what I do. I prep the parts, mind my business, put it, just braid it up,
Yep.
have it be normal.
Mhm.
And then today, since we're doing the podcast, I was like, let's take it out. Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah. I actually do really like this style on you. I've complimented it a couple times, but I do
you.
like the braid out, twist out type styles.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, it takes, because I had a, part each section.
Yeah.
Luckily, this time I wasn't crazy and I did medium.
Right. Because you like to do the itty bitty.
I normally do itty bitty, teensy tiny.
Yeah.
Which it honestly has its pros, but also has its cons.
Right.
The obvious cons is that it takes forever
To put in and to take out.
to put in and take out. But the thing is, you can be a lot less accurate when you're doing small.
Mm-hmm.
This medium, I was like, I need to take it out and redo it because I can tell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that serious about my parts, but they have to be at least a little bit. I'm like, why do I got one braid that's this big on the
In
back
the center,
of my
yeah, the
head,
center of your head.
and then the rest of them are different.
Right.
So, yeah. But I would say the parting, I don't even know how long it took me because I kind of just take my time and do it throughout. I did it over like 2 days and I spent like a few hours here, a few hours there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for my hair, it's so funny because in all the seasons that we recorded of the podcast, my hair has been out, but typically my hair is in braids. That's just like my comfort because it took me up until COVID to actually learn how to do my hair. Because as a kid, my mom was like, I think it was by the time I got to the age of 7, I had too much hair. And I think I've talked to like the person who braids my hair, and for the longest time I thought I had thick hair, and she's like, you have thin strands, you just have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them. And you've been in my hair before.
It's dense.
It's dense, right? So starting from the age of 7, my mom would always braid my hair. So it's what I'm comfortable with. But since 2020, I've been trying to do more natural styles, finding products, whatever. But to get to this style that I have in my head, I actually just had braids. I had a braided style. And so I had to take out those braids. And, because I have a lot of hair, that took me, let's just say 5 hours to take out the braids. And because at that point, I like to wait to the last minute. I did not wash my hair that day. What I did was I combed it out, put it into a ponytail, made sure the front was brushed, and hoped that nobody could see the product buildup that was still in my hair. Went about my day. Then I was like, okay, well, I can't go to work like this. I can walk around the house, run errands, so I need to wash my hair. And I also have learned to blow dry my hair myself. That takes me, and we've talked about it, I think it takes me double the time to go through and wash my hair and to blow dry it straight. But with my hair, I have an issue of an irritated scalp. It's something that I've found out more recently when I moved here to California. I don't know if it's because of the weather change. I don't know if it's because of the water, because I'm from Arizona, but I've dealt with hard water before, and then Texas has also had hard water. So I don't know what it is, but I have to wash my hair. This is going to sound crazy, but I do like maybe 5 washes when I wash my hair. I'll do like 2 to treat my scalp, and then, I think I do 3 to treat my scalp, and then 2 to treat my hair. And I use 2 different shampoos. Yeah. So that takes me some time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. But if I don't do that though, I'll be itching. Like we'd be sitting in this episode of this podcast and you'd be seeing me scratch my head and then it'll get flaky if I don't do that time. Because I've tried doing 1 wash for my scalp, 2 washes for my scalp, and it won't last as long.
Crazy.
I think I could get away with maybe 2 weeks before I start scratching a lot, right? And also like if I don't oil my scalp. But then afterwards, I'll blow dry it straight and then I'll keep it like that for a day because I'm tired. And then I'll touch my hair and be like, man, you're dry. I haven't put any products in you. So then here comes another 4 hours of me sitting down in front of the TV, making sure that each portion of my hair is well moisturized. And then I twist it because I love me a twist out. And that's like my go-to. But I think if you put that all together, it's like 5 hours to take out my braids, about 4 hours 5 hours to take out my braids. Is it 4 hours for me to wash and blow dry? Maybe it's less. Let's just say 3 hours, right? 5 hours to take out my braids, 3 hours to wash and blow dry. No, I feel like that sounds ridiculous. Yeah. I'm sitting down thinking about it. I have like 3 hours to wash my hair and blow dry it straight.
I think it's true though.
Do you think so?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we did sit down one time and we were like, okay, I'm going to start washing my hair.
Yeah.
And then we waited for you to finish. I think it does take you 3 hours. At least we might have to add on the twisting. Yeah, the twisting.
Okay, so let's say 5 hours to take out my hair and 4 hours to wash, blow dry, and twist. That's 9 hours.
Yeah.
That's a work day.
That's light work for Black women who do their own hair.
Which is crazy. Why is it that we need that much time and effort? And the only way it's shorter is if you get to the point where you've done your hair so much.
That it's habit.
Or
in my case, you buy a $400 blow dryer.
Yeah.
So that
I want
it takes
you
you 20 minutes instead of an hour to blow dry your hair.
Yeah, I know it's massive, but one time,
it is huge.
For the one time, when I come and visit next time,
you gotta try it.
I have to try it. I need to make sure my hair is out and try it.
It's worth it.
Yeah. See, I've heard people like the Rev Air products.
Yeah.
And I think it would really help with stretching my hair because that takes a while and then it just hurts. It just hurts your arm to like go through and comb it. And like I have the comb attachment on my blow dryer, but some people don't. So they're like holding a blow dryer to their hair.
Brush.
And
yep. I can hang.
No, I can't hang. But what's my alternative, right? If I don't do my hair, like you were saying, you get more split ends. Just having your hair out, the way it grows out of your head, if it's just out like that all the time, it starts to deteriorate. What is that?
Yeah.
So if you're not doing some manipulation to it, it's not going to survive. But if you overly manipulate it, it's not going to survive.
Yeah.
I love my hair because if I say anything negative, you know how my hair is going to do me.
It's going to fight you.
It's the most high maintenance thing about me.
Yeah,
is my hair. And I wish I didn't have to do anything about that, but I also like having long hair. Yeah. And to have long hair, you must care for said hair.
You have to care for it.
Right? By yourself. Or the alternative, which we've talked about, especially like me moving from Texas to here, is you can pay a professional to do it for you.
Yeah. And I'm not about that life.
Right. Well, you know how to do your hair.
It's true. And I had to learn. I
had
to learn.
So you have the choice. But for someone like me, I don't know how to do my hair. Even when I do twists, people have told me before that like Black people have been like, your twists kind of look old because it's not to the scalp. And I'm like, but I can't grip to my scalp. I don't know how to grip to my scalp. And the best I can do is styles that are protective, that can get me like twist outs or braid outs or something to make my hair big and make it look textured. But that's all I really know how to do. I can't take this and like do a braid at the side and have it look cute and like clean in the front. I can just have it out and then I can put it into like a sort of like puff. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, you know, I had to learn because I'm not paying any money.
Right. When do you start teaching yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, well, I feel like we can go on our hair journey while we explain this.
Go ahead.
You know, every Black woman's got a hair journey.
Ooh.
We've traveled more than Bilbo Baggins or whatever his name is.
Bilbo Baggins.
Thank you.
From Star Wars?
No, the Lord of the Rings.
This is drama. I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
You gotta see it.
Wait, what's the person from Star Wars that has the same name? Also, this could just be me.
This could be me too, because I don't remember names. So I could be saying someone from Star Wars right now.
Okay, we'll check it later.
We'll check. Editing Chanel if you're not lazy.
We'll check. Even if
clarify.
Even if you are, the audience can look it up themselves. Yes. We don't need to do
Put it in the comments or something because we don't know. Because Bilbo, but I think that's a character from Lord of the Rings, but honestly, I don't know.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings, so
I've watched it a couple times. Still don't know any of their names.
There's probably a lot of them. That makes sense.
Period.
But yeah. Anyway, you've traveled.
That's the one I remember. Frodo.
What's the name of the one that's like, my precious?
What is his name?
Okay, we just need to stop.
You just asked me, so now I don't know.
We don't know names.
My precious.
Let's just leave it. Anyway, your hair has traveled more than
and then isn't there another gremlin from Harry Potter? Dobby. Okay.
Dobby the elf.
And then the other one's from Lord of the Rings.
See, if it's Harry Potter, I got names for you because that's the world that I grew up in. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, even Star Trek. I didn't really grow up in those, so I don't know. But Harry Potter, I got names.
Yeah, I have to Google everything. So yes, back to our hair journeys, our Lord of the Rings / Star Wars / Harry Potter journey, because we... Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, my mom would do my hair. And she did the classic Black girl styles, which is, you know, let's put your little pink tails and then put
the bobbles.
Little BBs. And a little, whatever, the freaking butterfly random clips. Yeah. And
you got the butterfly clips?
I had the butterfly clips.
Those must have been cute.
Butterfly. So yeah, they would do all the cute little hairstyles. And then once I got older, it would be like braids, like getting box braids and stuff like that. I hated that.
Really?
I hated it. Yes, because I would have to, as a child, go to a shop, sit there for 6 hours, or at home, because it would be mostly my mom would do it. I would have to sit at home, sit on the floor in between my mom's legs while she sits there and braids my hair for 6 hours. And then it's always, turn your head to this side.
Yeah.
Turn your head to that side. Go ahead and do a backflip into a split real quick.
Yeah.
So I can get this. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. And then your head would hurt afterwards and all that stuff. So no, that was not vibing with me as a child. I just wanted to live my life.
Right.
I had to fight. So yeah. So then braids phase. And then I was like, I don't want braids anymore, please. And then we started doing like relaxers.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
The creamy crack.
Yes.
And I think I started getting relaxers maybe when I was like 13, maybe. I might be misremembering.
Okay.
But I think 13, around like teenage years, relaxers. And then I would do that, and you would have to go to the salon, and then they put in the stuff, or your mom would do it, whatever. And then that's what I did for a majority of high school. And then by the time I was like leaving high school, I was like, you know what? I'm over it. I
Yeah.
don't want relaxers. It makes zero sense to get relaxers for me because I'm like, why am I chemically changing the texture of my hair?
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not do that. Let's just be normal. Yeah, normal.
Right.
So after that, I went to college and I was like, okay, I'm going to grow out my hair from scratch.
Oh, did you cut it?
I didn't cut it. I think I already had like a bob situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like growing it out. And then I remember being like, oh, there's texture.
Right.
I don't even remember what my hair is like because I've been doing relaxers
for years,
a good portion of my childhood. And so, yeah, I started growing out my hair and went through the awkward phase where like puffy roots and then you have
straight bottoms.
Straight bottoms look so weird.
Looking heat damaged.
Yes. And I would always wear my hair in like the whatever kind of like milkmaid braids where you like have those braids on your head.
You could hide it pretty well then.
Exactly. So that's just what I did the entirety of college pretty much. And then I eventually grew it out enough to where all that was gone. And, we've been trotting ever since. I would say I started braiding my hair in college. And I would ask my mom and she's like, I don't know how to teach you how to braid your hair. I don't know. I don't get it. But I guess. And so she would, because she can braid. Here's the thing. She can braid on other people. Yeah. But it's harder for her to braid her own hair. So she's like, I can't teach you how to braid your own hair because I'm used to braiding your hair. I'm not used to braiding her own hair generally. And then also the way you braid your own hair, it's kind of hard to teach someone how to do that as well. Yep. And so, yeah, I just sat down and I was like, you know what? We're going to learn this. I watched some YouTube videos, YouTube University, shout out. And then I was like, okay, let's go. And then I just sat there and I did it. And now I have it down to a science. Like I said, I feel like I do my process a little differently than other people because it seems like most people just sit down and like do all the parting and do it all in one step. I'm like, I'm lazy. Let's stretch it out.
Right.
The vibes.
Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Yeah. So cute hair journey.
Wow.
Mine is similar in some instances and different in other instances. I feel like I did a lot of what you did, but later in life. So I started off when I was younger. My mom would do the hairstyles for me. I had those twists with the bobbles. I don't think I ever had the butterfly clips, but I do remember like the bobbles. And I have very vivid memories of like knowing that I had a lot of hair, dense hair, because those bobbles, my mom would be trying to do my hair and they would break as she was using them. And like I just remember because those things are thick, they're hard. Those little balls on the on those elastics, they hurt.
Yep.
I've been hit so many times here.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I think I was around, it was second grade. I was like 7 maybe, 7 or 8. And I remember my mom just being like, I can't do this anymore. She used to like do my own hair. I don't think she ever braided my hair. I could be misremembering, but I just remember she couldn't do it. Like her hands would hurt as she was doing my hair and it would take too long and she just didn't like the way that it looked. So she started taking me to like salons and stuff, or similar to you, having people come over. And I have a vivid memory of being like one of the first 2 times I went to go get my hair done by like somebody else, and my mom being on the phone, going like, hey, my daughter's 7. I want to bring her in to get her hair braided. Like, how much is it going to cost? They discussed the price. And when we walked in, the lady tried to increase the price by $100.
Dang.
And my mom was like, no, you told me over the phone that it was the price. And the lady was just like, well, you told me your daughter was 7. You didn't tell me that she had a lot of hair for a 7-year-old. And my mom was like, well, you never asked. You just asked me how old she was. So this is the price you're going to do. And she did it at that price. We never saw that lady again. But then that's when I was aware that I had a lot of hair on my head. And that's when I feel like a lot of the, it's too much to handle, that idea started like infiltrating my brain, where I was like, I'm always going to need somebody else's help to do my hair. So I wore braids from the 2nd grade through elementary school, middle school, and like you, when I was 13, 14 years old, I got my first relaxer because my mom relaxed her hair. That's all I saw. My mom had straight hair, and then I grew up in a predominantly white location, so everybody else had straight hair. And I was like, why do I always have to have braids, or why is my hair so curly? Because the way that we did my hair, it felt like we were hiding my natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was never really hiding. It was just like nobody really knew or really wanted to like take care of it. So I would go and have braids for months, and then I'd have my hair out for 2 days. Typically we'd start on Friday night to take the braids out, and then Saturday or Sunday I had a hair appointment. So by Monday I just had new hair.
Yep.
So nobody really knew what my hair looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got to like middle school, high school, I was the one who had to take out my own hair. And I've had conversations with people about how they're like, oh, how do you take out your hair so fast? Blah, blah, blah. Even though it's like 5 hours, I guess that's a quick amount of time. I never really struggle. And it's because I've done it so much on my own. But I had said to my mom, I really wanted to have straight hair. I really wanted to relax my hair. And my mom was like, let's wait till you're 13. Like, you're young now. You don't know what you want to do.
Yep.
But like, we'll wait till you're 13, 14. And I don't think my mom ever really wanted me to relax my hair. At least at that young of an age. I think she wanted me to wait longer, but I was so insistent that on my birthday, whatever, it was the 13th or 14th, I said, hey, you told me that when I get...
Let's go.
So I had straight hair, and it was cute. My hair was short, so I had to have extensions as well as my natural hair, or my natural relaxed hair. But that didn't last long because I like to go swimming.
Ooh.
And that's something that they don't tell you about relaxed hair, at least when you're a child, that you can't go swimming.
Yeah, I was on the swim team.
Oh, how did that work? Were you just wearing caps?
The caps don't protect you from water.
Oh.
That's to make you more ergodynamic or
so how do you protect your hair then?
You don't.
So we both went through the issue of relaxed hair and then just being in water.
Yep.
For me, though, I think I also dealt with waters that were just overly chlorinated. Any single time I went swimming, you could just smell the product. It didn't matter if I waited the appropriate amount of time.
That's a real thing.
Anytime I got in the water, you smelled the product. And I remember being so embarrassed because nobody else around me was black. So I would go swimming and people would be like, Cindy, why do you smell bad?
Yeah. I remember when you get a fresh press.
Yeah.
And you just smell like burnt hair.
Yes. Yes.
I hated that smell.
I hate it. Oh, hot combs.
Girl, when you said that you got popped by the BBs, whatever, I was like, I remember that hot comb and you're like, please, Mom, please. Like, don't hit me no more. I didn't even burn you. Yes, you did.
You have a huge welt on your head. I didn't burn you. Yeah, the salon culture and salon experience, it wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy that.
I did not.
Like getting there and then waiting and then just
hours.
Like watching. Like they didn't have anything for kids. I'd be going through magazines pretending that I was actually reading them. And then the TV shows that they had on was not something I wanted to watch. And I'm surrounded by a lot of older people.
Yep.
Nobody was my age. And then the salon that my mom went to, and I think my mom actually recently stopped going to that salon. It's crazy. It's crazy how loyal Black people can be when it comes to their hair.
Yeah.
Because my mom has gone to that salon since I think she moved to the United States.
Wow. And
it was done by an older woman that I knew growing up. This lady did my hair. And then sometime around when I was near the end, like middle to end of high school, so my first relaxer was done by this lady, she gave her shop over to another woman. And that other woman started doing my hair, and my mom stayed and continued doing her hair at that place. And it was only, I think, earlier this year that she stopped going to that place because the lady had a family emergency. So she closed her shop. It wasn't by choice.
Yeah.
But I just remember going in that salon. She shared her salon with a barber shop. So I remember just walking around and I just had these memories of men getting their hair cut, their beard shaped. And whenever they seed me, they'd give me lollipops because that's what they knew. That's what I was going for. The salon never gave me nothing, but the barber shop, they gave me lollipops. But anyway, I went through this relaxed hair period maybe for about a year. And that's mainly, I actually had to stop because of my mom. Because my mom kept telling me I wasn't taking care of it. I would go swimming, and then I would have, you could see separation. So the bottom of my hair was straight, but then the top of my hair was really poofy. And my mom was like, you need to start like flat ironing your hair. So I got a flat iron, but I would like, there was one day, because I would like, I don't even know what happened, but I ran it through my hair and I looked at the flat iron and the flat iron was burnt. And that terrified me because I was like, I don't want to burn my hair. I'm actually impressed that I never actually heat damaged my hair because I wasn't using any heat protectant or anything. It's like it's
the Wild West.
A blessing. It's a blessing that I didn't fry my hair off. But after that year, my mom was like, you're not taking care of it. It looks bad. So if you want to keep your hair like that, we're not going to keep relaxing it. There's no point in relaxing it.
Yeah.
And so I think by the time I was 15 or 16, I was back to braided styles. Because again, I didn't take that as a sign for me to learn how to do my hair. I just went back to what I knew. And I did that all throughout the rest of high school, all throughout college, into graduate school, up until COVID. So I remember COVID when everybody was saying like, yeah, we're only going to be home for 2 weeks. It's not a problem. And so I had braids in my head. I had an appointment. I had a hair appointment actually that got canceled because COVID happened. And I was trying to hold on to those braids for dear life because I didn't know what to do with my hair otherwise. This is the first time. So I remember I was just living my life. Like, you weren't really talking to people. But I had a friend at the time contact me and be like, hey, I have a community of people who are just looking for people to talk to. Do you want to just get on Zooms every once in a while, maybe every day or every other day, just to talk to somebody? Because like at the time I was living by myself. This girl was also living by herself. And her friends, I think at the time, were either they had a roommate they didn't really talk to or they were living by themselves. So I was like, yeah, it'd be nice to like engage with people. So we get on the Zoom, we have a session. This is still so funny to me. We get on the Zoom, we have the session. Me and my friend at the time are the only two Black people. We get off the Zoom session. My friend texts me to hop back on. And she literally says to me, Cindy, you have to let those braids go. She's like, the length of your roots is almost the length of your hair. The roots take up half your face. And I will, after this, I'll show you a picture.
Oh, God.
And if I feel
confident
enough, we'll post it. But I showed this picture to other people and they're like, yeah.
Brutal.
But I mean, what I tell them is like, we all thought every single week they were like, we're going to go back. Things are going to go back to normal. So after like, when it's 1 week past, you're like, okay, it's fine. It's just a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Because I think it was I think March was when the shutdown happened. And then first responders were already going. But like, I think with Rice, they created a plan where I was back by the end of May. So it was sometime in mid-April, early May that I was getting you need to do something. Ooh. And so I was terrified because I didn't know what to do. So I took out the hair and like I had my hair out and my hair was long because mind you, I just would go through styles. It was always in a protective style. I would just go put a protective style in and then have it out for 2 days and put another protective style in. So my hair was long and I was like, what do you do with this? Like all I know how to do is wash it and then stretch it to put it in a ponytail. Like, so I started doing a deep dive on Google into the lock method. I think the LOC, liquid oil cream, and then there's another one.
Yeah, LCO,
liquid cream oil. So I was looking between them and I was asking people what they did. And a lot of people said the lock method is what they did, but they were like, up to you. You should try the liquid cream oil method, right? Or no, it was the lock method that I was doing. I was like, liquid oil cream is what everybody did, but the other one was LCO. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went and I was like to my friend, what products do you use? And she gave me a list of products. I went to the store, bought them, put them on my head, and just went about my business, not realizing that I was destroying my hair because it's not a one-to-one transfer from one Black person to another on products that work for them. I didn't know that. So I was doing the lock method liquid oil cream and I would be just like walking around outside doing all this stuff and somebody would come up to me and be like, or that same friend, she was really on me about my hair. Your hair looks dry. I can tell your hair
looks dusty.
Pretty much is what she said to me. And I was like, but I'm using the products that you suggested. And then that's when she told me, she was like, it's not a one-to-one transfer. Like you might have to spend a lot of money to go through to find products that work for you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't have the funds for that. But at that point, I couldn't go back to a salon. They still weren't open yet. So I went through products. I ran through products. I did a whole stint of where I put too much oil in my hair because I thought oil is what I needed. But then I later found out oil is just a sealant of moisture. So if there's no moisture to begin with, I was frying my hair. And Chanel, that long hair that I had was coming out in clumps. In clumps.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember talking to somebody being like, is it okay if like my hair's coming out of my head? And they're like, they were like, shedding's okay. They're like, you're not used to it because you don't have your hair out, but like shedding is fine. And I'm like, cool. And so then I one day sent a picture of the hair that came out of my head.
They were like, oh.
And they were like, Cindy, how often does this amount of hair come out of your head? I'm like, well, every day that I comb it.
Oh my God.
And how often do you comb it? I'm like, oh, I comb it every day. And like, Cindy, your hair is falling out. Like that's a significant amount of hair that you're losing. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. By the time that I got to the point where I was like, okay, this is the process that I need to do, my hair went from like being out far to like close to my head.
No hair.
And I was in denial about it. I was in massive denial.
You said, look at this hang time. And then it's
there was no hang time. I was so sad, but it took me a while. I found out that my hair doesn't like Shea Moisture products. My hair doesn't really do well with coconut. So these are just things that I know offhand. Like I can't really use Shea Moisture. Cantu is not really for me either, which is so funny because my brother Cantu works for him. So even within the same family, same parents, your hair can be vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, coconut. But I finally found a line that worked for me. And then I also found out the lock method liquid oil cream does not work for me. The LCO method does. So I now do a leave-in conditioner, cream, and oil. And since I think 2020 or 2021, I've been working with like different hairstylists and I've grown my hair significantly and I believe it's healthier.
Mm-hmm.
It feels healthier to me. I think it looks healthier and it's the longest that it's been since, I don't know if it's longer than what it was before I tried to do my hair, but regardless, it's long and healthy, but it took so much effort to get here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 4 years and like 3 of that has been me like actively working on my hair and finding products. And you know, the one thing that I've learned about the black hair industry that's so disheartening is that formulas change and products go out of stock often. So you need backups. Like
backups to the backups.
Have you had any issues with like finding products or dealing with products like that?
No, and I found what works for me now because I feel like I was searching for a lot of products like you said. And for some reason, the Brown Redken line, which is a like professional shampoo brand.
Yeah.
That's what works for me. Mm-hmm. So I use their shampoo. I use their conditioner. I wash my hair once a week. And then once a month, I do their clarifying shampoo. And then I do a, what do you call it? Like a hair mask.
Yeah.
Like deep condition. And then, yeah, so I use that line and that's what works for me. And then I also use As I Am.
Okay.
That brand. And I use their cream and their gels and whatnot to, you know, lock in the moisture.
But that's still a pretty penny if you're using professional.
Yes, but the thing is, you know, I'm normally of the words of like, if something is expensive, sometimes it's worse, you know?
True.
But hair care, spend that money. Spend that money because the way that I'm still on my 2 jumbo size bottles, it's been honestly like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm still using the same bottles.
Okay.
I don't understand. It's voodoo. I don't understand. But every time, because a normal shampoo and conditioner, first of all, normally comes in a smaller size. It's hard to find like big sizes of things. So I got the jumbo size. But then I put like just, you know how they say quarter-sized amount. They actually mean that on that bottle.
I don't believe it.
I swear to God.
I don't believe it.
I do. Maybe one more.
And it does your entire head?
My entire head is shampooed
That's
easily.
crazy.
Yeah. And I do 2 washes each time.
That's crazy.
2 washes and then a conditioner. And I still have both of those bottles that I got in the Ulta professional big bottle sale, whatever. I don't play.
I might ask you for a sample. Because that's my thing. It's very hard for me once I find something that works to find something that's new.
Yep.
So I use I use entirely the Melanin Hair Care line.
Mm-hmm.
And Melanin Hair Care was made by, I think her name is Curly Natural 85.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was
Somewhat,
something like that.
Something like that.
So she was a YouTube hair influencer and she made this line. And I don't even remember. I think somebody told me to give it a shot because I was explaining that I'm just having a hard time finding something that works with like my texture of hair. And I bought the whole line. I think that cost me to get oil, shampoo, leave-in conditioner, and cream. It was like $80 some.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I literally fully committed. But as soon as I did that, it worked. And it's just like, it worked. Like, it's hard for me to try something new. But like you were saying with the Redken bottles being large, I think they're like maybe 20 ounces.
Yeah.
And I kind of go through that. It's not like dollar or little two dollops for me. I use a decent chunk. And now that I'm adding in, I know it's taboo, but I use Head and Shoulders, the tea tree oil.
That's probably good for your scalp.
For my scalp.
Yep.
Specifically for my scalp, and then the Melanin hair care for my actual hair. It's like probably somewhere around $100 to get everything that I need to do my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I have to re-up at least once a year.
Yeah.
So that's like $100 a year just on washing my hair, and I'm still braiding it. And in California, that's like $250 to $300. So if I'm doing 2 hairstyles a year and then getting the like products right there, that's $700.
Yeah.
Just on my hair.
Yeah.
Right. So I would love to try new things. Like you're saying, the Redken is something that you buy once, do for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds beautiful to me, but I don't want to go and buy a Redken product and then spend the professional hair care money and find out that it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm back to square one.
That's true. I think they have travel sizes. I don't know if they have it in the Curly brand, but I would check it out.
Travel sizes make me upset because the Melanin hair care line, they have travel sizes, right? Let's just use, for example, their leave-in conditioner at this present moment has been out of stock for a while, and I've been on a search for a new leave-in conditioner, and I think I might have found a brand that I liked, but they do have they have the travel size of the leave-in conditioner. Mm-hmm. The actual size is like 16 ounces, and I can't remember for sure, but I think it's like $22.
Yeah.
For 16 ounces. Their travel size is 3 ounces, and it's $12.
Yep. But that's the thing. That's the thing. If you want to sample it, that's what you got to do.
But that's still a lot.
It's still a lot, and they overcharge for those on purpose. But if you want to sample it, that's what you got to do.
Why is it that when it comes to black hair, there's so much financial boundaries around it? Because I remember having counterparts who were like, yeah, I get my shampoo from Target. Mm-hmm. And I will say Target's prices have been going up, but still, they don't need the general they. Don't feel like I'm calling anybody out, but I'm just
calling
saying,
all y'all out.
I'm saying the general they will just need a shampoo.
Yep.
I know sometimes like they'll have like a hair mask or whatever, but it's just like they just do a shampoo and they just wash their hair and they go. Yeah. And that shampoo could be like maybe $20. Mm-hmm. But why is it that with black women, one, there's a vast amount of products. You have to try them all to be able to figure out if it works. And then there's a huge price tag with it because the likelihood of it working the first time, it's up to chance.
And then, I just be staring at some of the products in my bathroom. I'm like, I don't even want to throw it away because I spent money on you, but I'm not going to use you.
See, I give it away. So like I have cream in my bathroom that was given to me by someone from Rice who was just like, hey, I tried the Melanin hair care cream. I don't like it. Mm-hmm. But you're talking about how much you use it. Do you want it?
And you said, yes.
Right? That's how I have a couple of products in my bathroom that's how I got them, where it's just like somebody tried it. I knew it worked for me. They knew it didn't work for them. They gave it. And I've done the same thing because I told you I don't shea moisture. I gave away all my coconut oil. I was like, I'm not throwing this away. Mm-hmm. I spent all this money, but I'm not going to use it. So it's just like a
pass.
You know what they should do? There should be a website. Like a black hair care website for a black women who have products that they've tried that didn't work for them. And then you just like put it on and it can just be sent. All you have to pay is like shipping. Mm-hmm. Or you can do a discounted price because it's already been opened.
Yep. So we're cutting this from the episode.
No, I
No.
mean somebody else can do it.
Please
there's
do
a
it.
there's a lot of what's it called? There could be a lot of issues with like people lying about the products.
Yeah.
There's no vetting system, but I feel like that would be really nice instead of like throwing it away. I'm sure also you could donate a lot of these to like the women's shelter for people who need it but they can't get access to it. But
Yes.
just throwing out ideas.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So you said for your hair care for the year you spend $750. Is that what you said?
I would let's round up to $800.
$800. That's very interesting. So for me, I have no idea on the shampoo. I forgot what I paid for that.
See,
I forgot.
Let's just say for like a professional brand, if I'm spending $20 to get 16 ounces and you're getting like the huge thing, I would still feel one. I feel like it could be wholesale. I wouldn't be surprised if you spent like $40 on each.
Yeah, and it was on sale, so I believe that the $40.
Yeah, so let's just say it's like we could just round up for safe. Just say $100.
Yeah, $100 for 2 years. Product.
Yeah.
And then what else? I do have to buy my As I Am because I need them to come up. I need one of these. I need a big mama of the cream so that I can go like this and be done with my life and do that every day for 365 days. Okay, I need it. Give me a swimming pool. Okay, I'm waiting. But yeah, so I have to buy that probably like I would say kind of like quarterly-ish, quarterly. And I think each one of those probably like 25.
So then another
$100.
Another
$100.
So $200.
$200. And then I do my own hair, so I buy braiding hair.
Which
braiding hair's cheap.
Like $6 a pack.
If that, yeah.
If that.
So let's say $6 a pack. I normally braid my hair maybe 3 times a year.
And how many packs do you use?
I normally, for one hairstyle, it's normally like 3 to 4 packs.
Okay. People who are listening, this is the math section of the podcast, so you better be working with us.
Math majors,
so,
unite!
So it's you do 3 or 4 packs?
Yeah, so
for
we could
$6.
just say 4.
So $24. And you say how many times?
3 times.
3 times. So 24 times 3 is 72. Yeah.
So 72
plus 200.
Plus 200.
That's $272.
$272. And I'm still using the shampoo from last year.
But yeah, we're just going to go from a perspective of like 1 year.
Yeah.
As if you had to buy everything fresh. Because for me, it's like I'm buying everything fresh.
Yep. So $300 for me. And that's just because I do my own hair.
Right.
And so.
But I mean, so here's the thing though. If we factor in time, right? I feel like
we still have the same amount of time. Because you still have to go to the braiding shop and wait there.
Yeah, but like, it's kind of like you parted your hair and you haven't done the braids. How long does it take you to do the braids if you actually do it all in one day?
All in one day, it's the same as your braider.
Oh, really?
I've just done it so many times.
Oh, wow.
Wow. See? You think I'd be struggling? I'm not struggling, girl. No more. It's
not like I think that you're struggling. I've just seen people on social media.
People be struggling.
Which it will take them like maybe 8 hours, so they'll do it over the span of a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I think it's mainly because you are able to do other styles, but like when you do other styles, I do think it takes you a little bit longer because you'll text me throughout the process of you doing the braids.
Like I tried crochet hair and that was brand new.
Right.
And so that did take me longer, but honestly, when I get something, it's not too bad. I don't think, because some people, I'm like, dang, you've been braiding your hair for a week. And they're still going.
Yeah.
And I do those tiny, tiny, tiny little braids and I get those done.
Right.
Every time. So for the most part, I think I'm pretty on par with the stylist. On par.
See, but you also have time because you've been trying to convince me to learn. You and Maddie have been trying to convince me to learn how to do my hair, which I'm not opposed to.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like what you were saying with your parting. Like you were going through, you're doing your parting and you're just like, if it looks bad, you have to redo it.
Yep.
But for somebody that's new, I feel like the learning curve for hair can be steep, especially because everybody's head is different.
Yep.
And like we discussed, like similar to your mom, I can braid other people's hair. Like I will say that I haven't really done a lot of like Black people hair, but like styles that I'm like doing braids or doing like wraparound braids or twists or something. Oh, I've twisted my brother's hair. Like I've worked on Black people's hair before and I'm capable of doing it. But when it comes to my hair, I can't grip. Or when it comes to parting, like I can do like parts because I do parts to do twists, but not to the extent of doing braids. And you need to be able to grip. And just because I feel like at this stage of our lives, with us being in our late 20s, the expectation is you need to have, like, your hair should be presentable. Like, you should have been working on your hair your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm worried of that stigma of if I walk outside and my hair doesn't look correct, people are going to be like, kind of like what happened when I had my braids for so long, or when my hair was frying because I didn't know how to put in products. People were very comfortable coming to me and being like, you look a mess.
And that's the Black people, right?
Right? It's just, and it's just Black people, because, you know, white, non-Black people.
Oh, brother. Say what you mean. What you say.
White people don't know the difference.
Yeah.
And I feel like there has been discourse a lot with respect to white people looking at Black people's hair, not knowing, like, the Black person standard of what hair looks good is, I think, opposite to what white people think, because typically when your hair is grown out and it looks like it's time for you to switch your hair, that's when you typically get more compliments.
Yeah.
From like another community that's not Black, because I feel like it doesn't just apply to white people. It's just like people who are not familiar with Black people hair.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What was the point that I was making?
You were saying that when you are doing your hair yourself, there's a certain standard that you don't think you're living up to.
Yeah. And even now, like at my current job, I do have 2 Black female coworkers that I talk to. And there is one person where, like, she looked at me and she said, so here's the thing. I know when your hair looks a mess, and I know your hair looks a mess, but I'm not going to tell you because that's not productive, because I know it's not easy to be doing your hair all the time, right? But she's just like, just know that I see it. And then I have another Black coworker who will come to my office and she'll be like, girl, your twists look old.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, leave me alone. I'm just trying to make some money.
Exactly. Exactly. But anyway, that's the thing. I think that's a stigma that I'm afraid of, is just the fact that even though people may not say it, you can tell by a look. Yeah. We speak a lot with our face. We speak a lot with our eyes, where if I make contact with another Black person, I know immediately in their head that they're saying something because I've done it before. Yeah. And then the closer a Black person is to me, the more likely they're going to say it to my face, and I just don't want to deal with that. But when I do a twist out, because I figured that out after years and years of trying, it's like, wow, your hair looks nice. It looks good. I've mastered a twist out.
It's all about practice. I think that's the key. You have to decide, do you want to do it or do you not? It doesn't matter which way, but just know you're going to be paying for whatever you decide to do.
I think ideally, because I braid my hair at least twice, if not 3 times a year. Because if it's 3 times a year, I'm spending about $1,000 on my hair a year. Oof. It would be nice to, like, you know, maybe around the beginning of the year, when I'm like, or right before a vacation, it'd be nice to have my hair professionally done. But every other time, I think it's just like, the point that I'm trying to make is, it'd be nice to have the option. Yeah. Right? The option of, like, I can start my hair, or it'd be great if I started braiding my hair and I went to somebody to finish it. Yeah. Like I was saying, it would be one of the biggest things I'm worried about is parting. Yeah. And I found out that braiders can part your hair for you, and they charge you, instead of it being $300, they'll charge you maybe like $40 to part your hair. Mm-hmm. It'd be nice if I like started with that, and then I learned how to grip, because I could do the braiding. Like I've braided, I've taken out braids. Yep. That's fine. But I think the parting is the issue. But ultimately, it would be nice to learn how to do the whole process. So it could be like doing my hair only costs as much as the amount of products that I'm using at the time. Yep.
That's what I do.
I know.
I've saved a lot of money.
I know.
I'll be watching everybody on, TikTok and YouTube being like, oh my God, my hairdresser scammed me. And she charged me $5,000,000 and it sucks. And I'm like, couldn't be.
I think it's also hard because it's like, it's a dependence on another person.
Yes.
And things can get tricky when you're putting your entire hope into another person, because people have lives. Mm-hmm. Things come up where it's like, sometimes you do get scammed, or it could be like Cindy, I got into a car accident on the way to the appointment. Like, I can't make it. I can reschedule you. But if I'm getting my hair done that day, that means that it needs to be done that day. Yeah. Right? Because you have plans of places to go, things to do. Like, I can't even imagine, because I've seen a lot of people who have talked about being scammed by their hairdressers or their braiders, or appointment cancellations right before vacations, where it's just like, no, it needs to be done. Like, I'm not dealing with my natural hair. Like, I'm not swimming if I'm going on a tropical vacation in the ocean with my natural hair, right? And so then you're scrambling. But if you knew how to do it yourself, it'd be annoying, but you could start
sit down
braiding
and do what you got to do.
Yep.
Period.
So I know it's on my list of things to do, and I'm sure that since my hair is out, we could do something, but it's just, I feel like we'd have to dedicate a trip to doing that instead of having things like the podcast going on, because that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of our time. You brought hair and have hair here to braid your hair, but have you found time yet between going to work and exactly?
Because we've been filming.
Exactly.
But yeah. I would say you just got to commit.
Yeah.
And just do it one day. And then I like the way that I do my hair, where I part it separately than I do actually putting in the extensions and stuff like that, because it just makes life easier. Because I can have a whole hairstyle, and like, I ran out of time. If I would have started on my braids and then came here, I would have been like, Cindy, we're not doing anything until I get my hair done.
I know.
But now I'm chilling, and when I go back in and do the actual extensions, it's going to take way less time.
Right.
Because I don't have to part anything. It's just boom. And then also for the gripping thing, just a little shout out to the people out there, just in case you would be put on game. I normally use a crochet needle.
Oh, yeah.
And so you don't have to grip, because I already braided my part or whatever. And so I just go in with the crochet needle, pull the hair through so it's secure. Because the hardest part with box braids is getting the knot or whatever at the top. So I already put it through, so then you just braid like a normal person. Right. And so, chef's kiss, try it out, people, if you want to.
I'll get on it eventually. It's something that I think for sure in my 30s that I want to be able to do. Like, I'm not going to say before I turn 30, but before I hit my 40s.
And I think just start slow. Just start with like this hairstyle where you just part it, everything.
And braid.
And then just braid a little bit. And then you can be like, okay, my parts look good, or I need to work on doing this part or something like that. Yeah. So it's not as much of a commitment.
Right. Whew. It's scary.
Yes.
Scary. Is there anything else you want to say about hair?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more that I wanted to touch on, because we did mention relaxers.
Oof.
And the fact that it was like a study or something that came out, and it said essentially that these companies who were producing these relaxers, they know they cause cancer.
They knew it beforehand?
Yeah.
Before they like put the products on the market?
And the creamy crack causes cancer. So you've been exposed to cancer products. I've been exposed to, probably a majority of Americans have been exposed to cancer products. So that's concerning. And then the other things that come with being a Black woman, which is dealing with your hair. And, it's the fact that we can't just walk out with just our plain afro without doing a twist out, without doing a braid out or something.
Commentary. Yeah. I actually had somebody at work come to me and say, I don't think I could do it. And I was like, do what? And they're like, your hair changes every day.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Is it a superpower? And that grinds my gears.
That really grinds my gears.
Because what does that even mean?
Yeah.
It's a superpower because, okay, I will say I had braids one day. The next day I had this, or not this per se, but I had my hair in twists. And then what I'm doing is I'm just pinning my twists in different styles. So sometimes I'll do I'll have the twist all down, so it looks like it's like a bob, or I'll pin the twist up, so it's like I have a side bang, and it's just styling hair.
Yeah.
Anybody styles hair, but it looks so vastly different.
Yes.
Or the part that gets me, Cindy, is that you?
I didn't even recognize you.
You look so different.
Can I touch your hair?
Oh my God.
Ugh. And then the fact that the only acceptable hairstyle for work and everything is for you to have straight hair. Like, especially if you had like an event. Like, if you go back and look at my yearbook photo, don't do that. But if you go back and look at my yearbook photo, I have straight hair. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like every monumental movement, why do we have to have straight hair?
Well, yeah. I mean, even with my braids, that, it was giving straight hair. It looked straight. It wasn't poofy. But I mean, what is it? What is it called? The Crown Act?
Yes.
That's something that I learned doing training in at my job, that California does follow the Crown Act. Most places in the United States doesn't, but in California it's what is the word? But like, you can't discriminate against somebody
based on their
hair.
Yeah.
So all because I'm coming in, you don't think my hair looks professional.
Yeah.
This is the way my hair grows out of my head.
Yes.
But mind you, if Sally Mae Sue is over there with dark blue hair or magenta hair or pink hair, and you think that's socially acceptable, you can't come to me, because the way my hair grows out of my head, this is
It's
the natural
natural.
color of my hair.
It's natural.
You can't tell me that this is unprofessional if Sally Mae
Yep.
Sue's over there having some color that we know is not naturally given.
That's the part that really grinds my gears.
Yeah.
The fact that we had to start a whole natural hair movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's what grows out of our head. And
Yeah.
we had to literally go out there and protest and fight so that we can say, hey, we don't want to be forced to have to change ourselves to be accepted by society.
Yep.
And so I think that's where we end it.
Okay.
You know, I think America and the world have a lot.
We have a problem.
America has a problem.
Thanks, Beyonce.
Thank you. But yeah, so I think there's definitely more progress to be made. But in the meantime, we're going to keep on keeping on and keep on growing our hair. Period. Nice talking to you, Cindy.
As always, Chanel.
Is someone knocking on my door? Hello? Open the door. Open the door. I'm filming a podcast right now. Goodbye.
Hi.
You want to say hi to the podcast?
No, thank you.
Okay, bye.